felt compelled when Pastor Ross was talking about fatherless homes that I should share my story. When I was just a baby, my dad left us when I was 2, and I was born and raised out in California. He was in the Air Force, and so my mom had come home one day, and my dad had a whole bunch of cocaine out on the table, and some of his Air Force buddies were about to come over, and me being 1.5, I toddled over to the table where this white powder was. And she had an idea of what it was, but she was kind of in denial that my dad was doing that sort of thing. My mom's just like, you know what, this is done. This is not healthy for my daughter. You know, I'm out. And so my dad was like, fine. My drugs and my friends in the Air Force were more important to him, and the rest, I hadn't seen my father up until I was 22 years of age. The fact that I lived most of my childhood without a father figure was pretty rough, because first I never knew what it was like to have a dad. My first kind of like exposure to the Lord from my grandmother. She was just a big believer and constantly reading the Bible and praying. And my godmother, Priscilla, was in our lives and praying. And so when my grandmother was getting ready to pass away, she wanted to move to Michigan so she could be around her close family. So that's when I got to meet my Aunt Florence, who was it was my great Aunt Florence, actually. She was an amazing woman, and she's the one that taught me cribbage, and she taught me how to love the Lord. And then I went to Baptist church with her every Sunday and started to get involved that way. And then when my grandma passed away, I kind of had a bitterness to God, because I loved somebody so much, and we moved to the Hillsdale area, and then that's when I started high school there. And that time, that's when everything changed. I came from a Californian laid-back lifestyle. I was tan, wore tie-dyed shirts, cornrows in my hair, said dude a lot. And I come into a really conservative Christian Baptist community, and my first day, freshman year high school, I was treated like a complete outcast. And nobody wanted to come up and say hi or befriend me, except for the kids that were in trouble or doing drugs. They were more accepting of me than some of the other kids. Maybe Christian or not Christian, I don't know, but they're the ones that befriended me. And my first almost 4 years of high school, I'm getting into trouble, and I'm trying to find that acceptance from someone. With these friends, I got into some serious stuff. At the age of 14, I was drinking and smoking pot and skipping school. At the age of 17, I started to change a little bit, and I started to not necessarily involve myself with the Lord, but at about that time, things started to slowly change in my life. I graduated. I went to a junior college. At that time, my father shows up. He had hired a private investigator, and he's like, "Hi, I'm Tom, and I'm your father. I had this private investigator follow you around, and I found out where you live, and I wanted to see you. I want to get to know who you are." And there's a lot of emotion that comes with that, because you don't see him your whole entire childhood, and then he just shows up. And I didn't know what to do. I needed to process. I couldn't just say yes, even though inside I wanted to. He goes, do you want to pursue a relationship with me? And I said, no. When I was 22, now I'm at Ferris, and I think I want to be a pharmacist. So I'm part of the National Chemical Society, and I have to go to San Diego because that's where he told me where he was living when he visited, and said, I'm more than welcome to come out if I wanted to see him. I thought, you know what? I think I'm gonna call him. I am going to, while I'm out there, take some time and just have dinner. Like, what harm is dinner? I think I'm just gonna explore this. And since that time, at the age of 22, I had to come to a choice to either forgive and build a relationship, or keep angry, keep bitter, and push him away. As I look back at that whole situation, so since then, my father and I, we talk and we see each other once a year, and we have that relationship. But I was 38 when I was out walking and having a talk with God, and he said, just look. I know your physical dad hasn't been there, but I've been there the whole time. And he said, I just want to show you that this is what I mean by unconditional love. That I love you no matter what you do. When you turned away from me and you were mad at me about your grandma dying and you went down this path, even though you came close to hurting yourself a couple times, I didn't allow it to happen because I love you. And I want you to realize that this is what you have to do with your family in the terms of unconditional loving somebody no matter what they choose to do. And he goes, I'm proud of you for forgiving your father, and just let me work on him. I'll soften his heart. I will help there, but just hold the line. Keep following me. Keep listening to me.